Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a very special edition of the Indieheads podcast, late night edition. I think that's what we're going to do. Late night edition. Hello, I'm your host, Matty, at Motorvan Prince on Twitter. On this little special edition of the podcast, we have...
What up? This is Jackson, at horse_jeans on Twitter, but this time it's at night.
And Moser on Twitter.com, and it's always nighttime when I'm posting, baby.
Hi, I'm Zach, at Waffle113 on Twitter and pretty much everywhere else. If this tanks, blame me. This was my idea.
Well, you came
This
up
is
with
not going to tank, brother.
Yeah, it was. I mean, hey, we'll all take the blame for this. All right, this is
premium.
We developed this
no
together,
blame
but
to
you
take
came up.
here.
But you came up with
This
a
is-
name.
This is that pure, uncut, raw content, baby. This is that good shit right here, and we're about to do some takes.
Yes.
And some treats.
Yes.
It's like a power gauntlet. You know in Super Smash Bros. All-Star mode, that's basically what this is of bad opinions.
Yes. So
we have to fight all of the bad opinions.
We just have to fight off these takes, yeah.
Yeah, so we are playing a special game of Take or Treat. So on Twitter, we asked you guys to send us your takes, and we are going to decide on this podcast if it is a take or it is a treat. And basically, take means, oh boy, that's a take, and treat is,
It's too hot.
It's
It's
too
bad.
hot. It's too hot. But a treat is nothing. It's nothing. It's either I agree with it or...
A treat is something that's like, yeah, I can see either I can see where you're coming from, or I agree with that. It's like that's reasonable.
Or in very
And then
special cases, it is, oh, this take is bullshit, and I know you're lying.
In most cases, it's I will allow this to exist. I may not agree with it, but it doesn't offend me on every level, like some of the content we've got here.
The takes are the ones that are so hot. The Stephen A. Smiths, if you will, the ones that are just like...
we'll get there.
Somebody wrote these
Crab Ray dude,
at some
things of
point-
that.
Oh, they were all crack!
At some point during this podcast, I am going to turn into LeVar Ball and start yelling "Never lost." That will happen at some point. It's only a matter of time when.
Looking at this list, if anyone's likely to do it, it's gonna be me.
We'll see. I think all of us are likely to blow on this one in terms of, like, each one of us, I think, has at least one of these takes in here that is, like, very personally triggering. And so we'll see how it goes. But it'll be fun. I think it's going to be a fun time to just kind of shitpost with the boys, you know what I mean? And talk some music, baby.
Yo, it's nighttime. What am I gonna be doing? Kissing girls? Come on.
Okay, so if I can, I will kick this off with two takes from fellow South Carolinian, at Tad_Philip.
Friend of the
Jam
podcast.
only has 5 good songs. And Fleet Foxes had a worse comeback album than Arcade Fire.
Ooh, these are
Okay, so
some
let's
these are some
let's
takes. These are some takes.
Damn has only 5 good songs. I'm going to call that, personally, a take. I think Damn is not the best Kendrick Lamar album, but it's a Kendrick Lamar album, and there are a lot of fucking good songs on Damn. And I haven't counted, but I don't need a count to know that it's more than 5.
I'm gonna let that. I might let that stand. Like if we're really if we're going like good, like just good, like everything else is bad. No, that's a take. But like if we're talking like Damn has like 5 all caps with a period after it good songs, I may allow this to stand. I'm looking at it right now, and it's like DNA, Humble, Triple X, Fear, Duckworth. That might be it. That might be it, my guys.
I have a couple more than that. I would definitely also put Pride on there. Pride is fucking ridiculous. I would also put...
I don't like the hook on Pride.
I really love, like, I've talked a little bit before, but like Pride is actually one of my like 3 favorites, I think, on the album, because it's just like there's something so woozy and hazy about it with the Steve Lacy production. That's just some good shit right there. And also Feel is definitely on there for me. I would put Element on there. I really like Element. I really like Pride, Humble. I would say XXX, Fear, Duckworth. Like there are a couple stinkers for sure, but it's 14 tracks. Like there's
I don't think there's
stinkers.
stinkers.
I have 2 stinkers, and I will not abide by Love or God. I don't like either of those songs.
Yeah,
Sorry.
me neither.
Hey,
Songs
folks,
can go.
you know what? Damn, it ain't got no stinkers. It's I mean, again, I will agree that God and Love are the worst songs, but not by like a whole lot. Like
They're all right, yeah.
they're still good.
I've never
I
gone
think
behind
Damn is still
Loyalty.
Damn is still a great album throughout for me. I love Damn a lot. But
Yeah.
also slightly off because we were talking about Stephen A. Smith. I just remember the David Roth tweet. P.F. Chang's way to recite specials. Stephen A. Smith express. To me, that's preposterous. Crap
Rangoon and things of that nature.
And then,
To me, that's preposterous, slandering Kendrick Lamar and things of that nature.
What's the?
For me, this take kind of depends on like what's Ted saying here. Is it like 5 good
What
as
is
in all-timer songs, or good as in just these songs, nothing else?
The implication of the take is that like Damn is kind of an album that you could, or Damn is an album that can go except for like 5 songs, and like that's why I'm willing to reason with the take.
I mean, as a podcast, we've already had AJ defend Everything Now on this podcast, so like this is a podcast that is willing to question the fundamental meaning of the word good.
Yeah, so there is nothing worse that can be
back
said on this podcast. We need to, we will never have that moment of like a scandal or someone digging up something problematic that we said, because it's like that podcast. Yeah, someone said Everything Now is a good album on that podcast. Come on now.
All right, so the next take that he has is also Fleet Fox had a worse comeback album than Arcade Fire, and this one.
Oh my god!
This one.
Oh
I'm gonna call it a treat. Because here's the thing is, and this will also anger you. And this was the other day. Someone was like, tweet an unpopular musical opinion on Twitter, and I actually had one that irked a few people, which is that I said that Fleet Foxes is mostly mid, and that is generally how I feel about. That is generally how I feel about Fleet Foxes, and it's like I get it. Like one of those albums you listen to is like, oh yeah, I get what this is. I get how this makes people feel, but it's just like it's gonna be a no from me, dog. Like it doesn't do it for me personally, and so Fleet Foxes have always been a band that is like I don't love them. I also don't hate them. They're just kind of in the middle for me, and then so like the Fleet Foxes album is just like okay, cool. It's still in the middle for me, and Everything Now is bad.
Well, is
like,
Everything Now a comeback album?
It's also not. I don't know what that part of it means, but like Everything Now
an album this year, yeah.
Exactly. I am, for at least for me, it's like Everything Now is like a band that I have loved in the past, really going for it and falling on their faces, versus a band that I'm just very meh on, continuing to be very meh. And so that's why I don't agree with this take, but I will definitely abide by it. I like Crack Up better than Everything Now, but I abide by this take.
It makes me upset that I have to call this a hot take, because as I have never liked the Fleet Foxes, and I am the resident Arcade Fire stan. But like, if we're talking on level of like comeback album, sort of like, I just don't know. Everything Now is better than Fleet Foxes, or than Crack Up. And so on that merit, no. But like, if we're gonna judge them comparatively on that level, like Crack Up's the first Fleet Foxes album I've liked, so they're kind of coming back from being that band, and making an album that
changes the emotional calculus of this take.
Yeah,
because like you said, it's the first Fleet Foxes album you've ever said, okay, this is good to. Whereas for a lot of people, this could be the first Arcade Fire where a lot of people said, okay, this is bad. Like, capital B, bad.
Yeah, people are wrong on the internet all the time. It happens.
Oh, God. So, Matty, what do you think?
I will say this is a take, but it is on the take or treat scale, it leans more treat compared to the Damn take for me. Like, I mean, this one is just like, oh, Fleet Foxes had a worse comeback on the Arcade Fire. It's like, I can see that one. I disagree completely. But, like, there's the part of me that kind of sees it a bit more than a Damn one. Like, Damn, like, saying, like, here's the thing. You said Damn, like, I think 5 is like, okay, like, no, you can't say 5. That's preposterous, okay? That's preposterous. Things of that nature, okay? It's preposterous. But I will say, yeah, Fleet Foxes, it's like, I can understand that one slightly more than Damn, but they're both takes, and I want to punch Ted in the face for them. So that is my opinion.
Which is not an insult to our friend Ted. This is the point of the show, is to anger us with
We are going
opinions.
to be really mad at a lot of you guys tonight.
If your goal was to get me stanced up, buddy, it's working.
Yes.
Okay,
But
all right.
this next one might be the only one we are unanimous on. At Grichmanoff, and this is all caps, by the way, pure comedy album of the year, and nothing else is close.
I am laughing.
I don't even want to get into this because I just I will go on a tirade about how much I hate pure comedy. It's really bad. That's just all I have to say. This is a take. Calling it a good album would be a take for me. That would be too much for me to abide by.
Spicy.
Calling it an album of the year is super extra hot fire of a take. And then saying nothing else is close is just breaking the scale of how hot of a take that is.
Volcanic.
Delete your account, remove your ears so you're not allowed to listen to music anymore, and go home.
Holy
Because I do not like that take at all.
Folks, the take is not good.
The
take does not stand.
Yeah, I will say this might be this is the most takiest take that we might have for this entire episode.
No, the next one is immediately
I mean,
up there.
I mean, here's the thing: for you guys, it is. For me, it's no. But this is a takey ass take.
That's fair.
There are some bad things that people are saying in here. So let's hold off on.
Oh wait, hang on. I lied about that. No, there's some worse takes.
We'll crown a worst take.
We'll get to
at the end. We'll look through here and we'll each crown this is the worst take on the list.
We'll get to it.
We'll do that at the end.
Put the kids to bed. It's a bad take. That kind of stuff.
But yeah, actually, let's do that next take because you guys are. I'm ready to see you guys get fucking pissed off because I actually actually, do you want me to read it, Zach, or?
Go ahead.
Okay,
I don't have any stake in this one.
All right, so at RodMA 56, so Rodma 56, Remo Drive are better than Brand New.
The sheer audacity that must be required to type this slanderous material. You know who I think would also vehemently disagree with this take? Motherfucking Remo Drive. We're talking about the grandfathers of the genre. You will put some respect on Brand New's name before you let this bullshit come out of your fingers when you're typing on the internet, boy.
Do you guys want me to message Eric? I'll message Eric and ask him about this.
To use another popular Stephen A. Smith ism, that is blasphemous. That is absolutely blasphemous.
It's ridiculous. And to be fair, we are all Remo Drive defenders. They are sweet, nice, wonderful boys who came on this podcast. I own a copy of Greatest Hits on vinyl. It's very nice. They are good boys. They make great music.
I took him to Taco Bell.
Fuck off in any capacity.
Hey, Jackson, that is inappropriate.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking
I'm just
about
pushing your buttons.
Take crafters. I also briefly met the boys of Remo Drive this summer because they came in to work at the establishment at which I work at, which I will not disclose because that's actually kind of sensitive information. But anyways, they're good boys. And very happy to see them succeeding in the music industry, but they are not Brand New, and they will not be Brand New, and Brand New are the GOATs. So there's that.
This is a treat for me because I agree with it, but it's more out of inexperience with the Brand New discography rather than it's more of just I'm more familiar with Remo Drive than I am with Brand New, but also I like Greatest Hits more than science fiction. So yeah.
All right. So that's a take for me. I think it's definitely a take for AJ and Zach as well.
I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
Nice. All right.
It's a treat.
This next take is one that has plagued this damn podcast
for months. When will we be free?
When will we be free of this?
Look, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This take comes from Ted Cruise Control, friend of the podcast, at Ted
associate of the podcast,
noted person on the internet, says that Everything Now, the fifth studio album from Arcade Fire, released this very year, is in capital A, capital G, actually good. Folks, takes, treats. I'm afraid this is the truth if we're using T words.
I will say, I like Zach on the last. Well, like Zach on the last one. I'm in between. It's not quite a take, not quite a treat. I would say leaning more treat than anything. It's like
Yeah,
I understand.
actually-
Basically, after sitting through the Everything Now podcast with everything, it's like I understand I understand the love. I get it. So I can't I can't be like AJ, like how do you like this album? It's like I can't do that. It's like I understand. All right.
Calling it good is not like a hot take. It's just a take that I disagree with. I don't think the album is good. When AJ called it the album of the year on the podcast, I was driving home from work and nearly crashed my car. It was such a bad take. But besides, like I saying it's actually good. I lean more toward take on that spectrum, but I would say that as a generality, it's. You can like this album. I get it. Like there are songs in this album that I really groove with. Like Everything Now, the title track and single is a banger. Like it is the best ABBA song of 2017. Like I can't deny that. but generally, defense of Everything Now it should be punishable by law. Is my opinion.
Yeah, like it's like I vehemently disagree with this take. Like. Everything Now is the only album this year, other than that Father John Misty album, which we shall not name, that made me feel like the band was insulting my intelligence while I was listening to it. I still have not forgiven Arcade Fire for Chemistry, and I probably never will. This is a take. This is a molten hot take.
AJ? Yeah.
My thoughts are clear here. I mean, it's a fantastic album.
All right, let's get to the next take from a strange Twitter user by the name of Horse Jeans. He's one of those funny guys. He's one of those funny guys on Twitter. One of those funny folks. He says that "Common Is Light and Love" is unironically rap album of the year. And
so. I need to preface this by laying out my right now. I want you to all picture Charlie Kelly with a picture of him where he's got like the big board with all the
Pepe Silvia.
Yeah, all the things connected, and he's losing his mind. So the reason why this meme of sorts has originated was because people noted that the kind of spoken word delivery that Mark Kozilek uses on the new Sun Kill Moon album was almost like rapping in the way that he kind of has these beats that are very focused on the bass. The bass was really big on this album in terms of how it drives songs and the drums, and everyone's like, oh, this is like almost like rapping or whatever. And then in the interview, like for each of these new albums he puts out, he's releasing these like one-on-one interviews he does where he has other artists that he likes interview him. And I think on one of them he talked a lot about how much he likes Kendrick Lamar, and it was really funny. It was like almost in a condescending way where he's like, this Kendrick Lamar guy is pretty good. And it's like, yeah, no duh. Like everyone else is pretty up on that mark, but glad you're here on the page too. But like
Mark says, rap music, folks, it's actually good.
Rap is not crap, indeed. And then he went on to make a goddamn rap album, because then on the second Sun Kill Moon album to come out this year, the Yesu one, there's a line where he's talking about, I'm going to go into the studio today, I'm going to do some spoken word, I'm going to do some singing, and then he says, and I'm going to do some rapping. So Mark Kozilek has explicitly acknowledged that some of the vocal cadences used on his recent material is indeed rapping. And folks, Common Is Light and Love is the album of the year, and it is a rap album in which he raps on it. So therefore, Common Is Light and Love is the rap album of the year. There are zero flaws in this take. It is a treat. It is a treat crafted by yours truly. I wrote this, so I'm biased. But I truly, like, it began as a meme, and then it became like a fundamental part of who I am as a person, is believing this with all of my heart and being. So yes, this is indeed a treat.
This is a treat. This is a treat for me too. I find no flaws. I find no faults in the logic. If there's any competition, it's Beautiful Thugger Girls.
Ooh, now that's about it right there.
That's a take that we don't need to get into. But it's just too. It's funny how those two albums like almost couldn't be more different, and also are the two.
I mean, they're both like sort of country, sort of rap, right?
A little, I guess, yeah. Both of them do have guitars on them.
You know what?
This is a treat. This is a treat. This is a treat. Mainly
Yeah, Jackson's argument convinced me. It's a treat, folks. Good job. And
this is a damn treat.
As an aside, Kaz is probably more progressive than most rappers because he's saying, "Hey, trans folks can come to my next show for free." That's cool.
Also,
Good for him.
Also, it was really funny how he was like being super woke, but then also using like
Transgenders.
like he called them
Ouch.
transgenders, which was like it was like adorable because it kind of feels like your old grandpa who's like has their heart in the right place, but doesn't have exactly the correct like language and terminology down.
He was,
but it's like
he
clearly
was,
trying.
Yes, he was trying to do the right thing, and it's like, well, A for effort, I guess, but like also, no, don't do that.
Please don't.
But the whole sentiment of the song, besides that line, was very like genuine and good.
I'm really trying to. I'm sorry. Quick before we get to our next take to be discussed. I was looking. We were talking about the Stephen A. Smith tweet about the crab ragoon, and then the
things of that nature.
And then the double dose of the one about the Holocaust.
Oh God,
Skip, I want to address this issue. You know I am sensitive to the Holocaust.
absolutely.
But
all of the Stephen A. Smith like fictional universe tweets are just really great, and God bless.
I don't think I've only watched maybe like very few clips, but I just like I know. Like I just
get
know.
it. They're like,
I get it.
Like
right
Stephen A. Smith is not a complicated man. It's pretty clear what his gist is that he's mad, and he likes sports.
Yeah,
all right.
Pretty accurate. Yeah,
folks, take a look, y'all. We got another take from at Boy Time Podcast. I would say it's Boy Time Podcast.
Friends of the pod.
It's an Indieheads side project from our very own Will for Thrill and some friends.
part of the family of Indieheads podcast.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Very
Indieheads
good friend of the
podcast
show.
extended universe.
Yes. And their take is that the Boy Time Podcast is better than the Indieheads podcast, and this is a treat. I think this is a treat.
Can't disagree.
Can't disagree with this take.
It's hard to
They're good
find.
boys.
It's hard to find podcasts that aren't better than the Indieheads podcast, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, this is a treat. But
All right, we got that one out there.
but if they did say that like Chapo Trap House is better than Indieheads podcast, I would fight a man.
No.
That's where I get. Hey, I think we're better than those.
Yeah, I mean, because like
those
if
Chapo
you were to
Trap
compare
weebs.
to Chapo Trap House, on the one hand you have irony poisoned white boys, and on the other hand you also have Chapo Trap House, which is the same thing. So
It's true.
but I mean, as much as I love critiquing them for their dumbassery, it is a little bit like looking in the mirror and calling the kettle black. Like
It's that Spider-Man meme, basically.
when Indieheads podcast Chapo Trap House run into each other on the street,
Or just like when white guys try and critique Chapo Trap House, and it's like, hold up, just hold up a minute.
I mean, like the reason why I joined this podcast was like I really felt like straight white men in their 20s didn't have a voice in the podcasting community, and I really felt like I needed to get out there and really talk too much about indie music. Is what I need.
This is a safe space for real.
The gathering of white males is called a podcast.
All right, next, we got some more takes to discuss. We have a lot of takes to discuss in this podcast. Let's get to the next one. And this one,
Next one's from
oh yeah,
Richmanoff is back. He would like to say that the albums released this year by Everything and Brand New are bad, and that Japanese Breakfast new album, Soft Sounds from Another Planet, available wherever fine albums are sold, is just okay.
Wait, I'm just feeling targeted. Like I feel like he's just like crafting takes just to like these the two hottest takes so far have been crafted by the same person. God bless you for the heat, but everything that specific part of the take I will very much abide by because I didn't really get into that. Like I tried it, I was like, whatever. Brand new, good, great. Some may say GOAT, some may say Album of the Year. I would not disagree with those some. And then disrespecting Japanese Breakfast on the Indieheads podcast is like it's coming into a church and being like, God, not that great. Yeah. What are you doing here? You know what this place is. You know what we stand for, and here we stand for Michelle Zauner and all of her exploits. And so this is a take for me.
Yeah, keep this away from me and all of my loved ones. I don't want to see this kind of stuff. Brand New made the album of the year, and Japanese Breakfast is not far behind. So I really just don't want to hear it. Everything, whatever.
Who cares? They're just a bunch of. I mean, again, they're a bunch of English fucks. Like, why do we care?
Yeah, their last album didn't even come out in the U.S. for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite bands are described as a bunch of English fucks. So watch your mouth there.
Yeah, they're strange, sad, and malnourished.
But yeah, this is a take. I like science fiction enough to not. I mean, it's definitely not bad. It's very good actually. And the disrespect to Japanese Breakfast, I won't. Even just saying just okay, I won't take it. Although if you did say that that Psychopomp is better than Soft Sounds, that is a treat because I would get behind that.
I think we all kind of agree with that.
Yeah, But this is a nice ass. Well, not nice. It's a horribly hot take.
It's bad. It stinks. It's disgusting.
Yes.
Someone could say that. Actually, go ahead, Zach. You haven't. I was gonna do a segue, but Zach, take your treat.
I feel like this take should be disqualified simply because of Roadhead. But yeah, it's bad. It stinks, folks. It's not good. Get this take out of my sight.
That take was very hot. But you know what's not hot? It's Mans.
This man?
Mans is not hot. And Mr. Ann Moser from Twitter, otherwise known as Andrew James Moser himself on the pod today, has a take here saying that Man's Not Hot is the song of the year. And folks, it's a treat. It's a damn treat right here.
Look, it's a certified banger, I realized, first of all, and it's also basically just Man by Skepta, which is like one of my favorite songs of recent memory. And like the thing about it that really makes it a song of the year contender is like this is a meme that, not only refused to die, but instead took on a life of its own and sort of became an actual song, which I was not aware of, but then I saw it on Spotify and I'm just like, well, goddamn, like this is a viral clip that was going around twitter.com that is now, an actual well-produced track. It's a banger and a half, folks, and I'm not taking the jacket off. Man's Not Hot.
Yeah, the take is not hot enough to require the removal of a jacket. As a matter of fact, this one is a treat. I mean, just look at the numbers. 2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3. Quick maths.
Quick maths.
And it also has probably one of my favorite stupid lines of the year. When
so
the team went quack, 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 you men were ducking. It's a treat. Good take, whoever that was. Thank you, Mysterious and Moser.
Folks, you heard it here first.
Take's not hot. That's my opinion. Take's not hot. It's a treat.
All right, let's move on to another friend of the Indieheads Extended Universe, at 490freak on Twitter, which might be my favorite take in this entire batch. King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard have dropped more good albums this year alone than there are good albums in Arcade Fire's entire discography.
So
AJ.
So absolutely not. No. I see what you think you were trying to do, but haven't they only released like 3 albums this year? 3 or 4?
Yeah, that's saying that there are 3 albums in the King Gizzard discography that are better than any albums in the Arcade Fire discography.
No.
Specifically, the take was that there are more good albums that King Gizzard released than there are numerically number of albums that Arcade Fire has released in their whole career.
The problem is that it's not like...
immediately Funeral, Neon Bible, The Suburbs, and then, like, if you want to include, like, Reflector, then you could get up to 4. But the thing is that, like, the King Gizzard albums, it's like, are all of them good? I'm not a big King Gizzard guy for me, so this is a take for me because I'm not a King Gizzard fan. Yeah, so absolutely
just the ones that were released this year. So we're considering Murder of the Universe, Flying Microtonal Banana, and Sketches of Brunswick East. That being said, this is a take. This is too hot. Like, I appreciate the effort, but no thanks.
Jacket is coming off for this one, folks.
Well, here's the thing. Knowing the person behind this take, friend of the podcast, Gavin, member of the Boy Time podcast, it is a take, but I lean more towards treat than you guys do, because I did quite enjoy Flying Microtonal Banana, and I did quite enjoy Murder of the Universe, and I would probably say that I would say, you know, those albums are probably better than an Arcade Fire album. That's not everything now, but that's mainly just because, you know, Arcade Fire, I like them. They're a good band, but, you know, I'm not in love. You know, I'm no Andrew Jackson Moser. I'm no AF Stan. But King is, you know, I stand for them a bit harder than Arcade Fire. So this is a trach. It's a trach for me. It's a treaty take. So
all right, the next take for us here to dissect from @SkippedRecord. Hospice is super overrated. Referring to Hospice by the Ant.
Wait, isn't the full take of this like Hospice has no place on the Indieheads
The full
Essentials
take was
album?
different.
Yeah, but like I was rephrasing it because like I would imagine some people who listen to this have no idea what the fuck the Essentials chart is or why they should care about it, so I generalized it.
I mean,
I get what you mean.
I understand, but like, yeah, the full context. I mean, we can say both. I mean, the full context is Hospice has no place on the Indieheads Essentials list, which for normies, Hospice is very overrated. And for me, this is, I'd say a treat, mainly because I listened to Hospice once and I was like, oh, okay, cool, and I didn't care to re-listen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give this treat too, because like Hospice was on MewCore for a while, back when Mew was a thing, and so like there are a couple really good songs on Hospice, but like it's not this. I don't think it's this like towering essential, you know, album that it's kind of been propped up to be, and like also time has kind of worked against the Antlers as they've sort of all but like they're basically done now, right? They tried a comeback album like a couple times.
Oh, they're done.
Yeah, it just did not work. Yeah. So this is going to be a treat for me, folks. I'm going to have to give this a hard agree.
I would say take. I wouldn't say they're like super overrated or that they have no place on the can. And part of that for me is just like in a similar way to like the way it doesn't feel quite right to like critique a Mount Eerie album the same way that we critique like other music, and that like this album is an album that's a very personal, it's an album about death, it's an album about cancer, but for me at least personally, like Hospice is not an album that's like very close and near and dear to my heart, so like I just lean away from being like, oh, it's super overrated, because it's just like, then you're just like, there's no need to dunk on things that are about cancer. It's just, you can maybe say like it's not for me, but it's like calling it super overrated. It's just like, well, some people clearly really fucking connect with this thing. Some people, this thing screws their whole world up, and I'm willing to let those people go enjoy it, and I'm willing to let it be on Essentials list, because it is one of the first 5 albums people bring up when they want to talk about an album that is like devastatingly sad. It's one of the first ones that comes up, and I think that's for a reason, whether or not you particularly connect with it. So I'm going to say this is a take.
Let the record show, Indieheads podcast has not issued a statement about cancer, possibly pro-cancer.
The Indieheads podcast is as anti-cancer as Mr. Young Thug is himself.
We're also
shout out to Boozy.
We're also anti-water, apparently.
Yeah, we are a pro-Pepsi podcast.
The context for that is that Young Thug today tweeted that he does not drink water. He's always rocking it, which not quite sure what that meant. But
all of Young Thug's personal like health routines are like terrifying and like make me really truly worry about him as a person. I don't know if you guys have read there was a GQ piece, which is one of the like most in-depth profiles that ever been done on him, and he also doesn't apparently eat.
Yeah,
he has
food injections.
No, they inject vitamins and nutrients into his system to keep him alive, because he doesn't like to eat, quote unquote, which is probably just because he's on drugs all day that like fuck with his appetite.
Yeah.
And that's why he's rail skinny. He just like does not eat food, and so like, yeah, the Young Thug's like long-term personal health is like very concerning.
He only drinks Activist. He's on a diet.
All right.
Since I don't really have anything to say about this, so let's keep it moving. The next take that's on the list, you guys probably just talked about a lot on the
We'll be brief with this
proper
one.
episodes, so I'm going to skip ahead to at CJ Galvin.
No. We're not. Nope.
If you say so.
At Through the Late Night, Jack Antonoff actually good at producing pop albums. Nope. No. This is a take. This is a big old take. I don't care. I'm still mad. I'm still upset. This is a no-no.
For those of you who missed Matty falling apart there for a second, the take is Jack Antonoff, actually good at producing pop albums.
I read
which
it.
I will say is a treat. Because as much as I am definitely not a Jack Antonoff fan, he is neither good nor bad. He only exists, and I think he's definitely not bad at producing pop albums. So I can abide by people who enjoy this take because Mass Seduction has good songs on it, Melodrama has good songs on it. So I'll say this is all right. I don't love Jack Antonoff, but he's not bad.
Jackson, did you just the wise man bowed his head at me? The wise man bowed his head and said there
is no difference between good and bad things, you fucking idiot, you absolute. That is exactly how I feel about Jack Antonoff. There is no difference between good and bad things, you idiot, you absolute moron.
Jack Antonoff is neither good or bad, he merely exists. My take on this is only half formed because I've only listened to Melodrama. But Melodrama was my album of the year for like half a second, so I gotta say, I sort of agree with this one. Yeah, it's a treat for me. Yeah.
And yeah, my thoughts on Mass Seduction are out there now, so this is going to be a treat for me too, folks. Never thought I'd see the day.
Wowza.
I have been stabbed in the back by every member of the Indieheads podcast one by one.
Friendship is dead.
Friendship ended. Wait, I can't even be friends with Boy Time podcast because Will's a fucking Melodrama stan. All right,
Matty, you have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
Friendship ended with Indieheads podcast. New best friend. I don't know who my new best friend is. I don't have anybody. I mean,
Fantano didn't like Mass Seduction.
Don't do it.
But he did like Melodrama. And he barely, so I have no friends. Anyways, next take from at CJ Galvin 5. Antisocialites by Always is the pop album of the year.
Get it out of here! No.
This is a treat. This is a definite treat. I see this one. I like Antisocialites enough.
I can understand it. Like, you want to know it from how much we've talked about on the podcast because, like, you only gave it like 2 minutes on one to catch us. But Antisocialites is really, really good. I can't totally agree with it because 2 minutes ago I said Melodrama was my album of the year for half a second, but. Yeah, this is a treat for me. I understand it. I can agree with it. Good take.
I mean, I would call like Everything Now the pop album of the year, so...
God damn it.
I'm afraid I cannot let this stand.
I just returned to the podcast. I briefly cut out there for a second. Always are good, and they're nice. And I like the single In Undertow. That's a good song. Definitely not the pop album of the year because I just have never had a strong opinion one way or another on Always in my life because they are just like very pleasant, and that is the only adjective I would use to describe them. Anyways,
AJ, I'll let you take this one because you talked about this on the podcast. So,
what a take that just came in from at Shapstick on Twitter.com. A Black Mile to the Surface by Manchester Orchestra is one of the most underrated records of the year. And this is an absolute treat for me. As I discussed in the most recent episode of the podcast, my first exposure to this band, and then sort of I came around on this record, and it's actually quickly become one of my favorites of the year. Like, I listened to it for the first time on like Thursday, and it's catapulted up into my top 10 probably already. Like, it's a really good fucking album, and I feel like people don't even like listen to it, let alone have talked about it. So, folks, something's fucking good.
Well done.
Yeah, my old radio teacher, my old station manager, at my community college, he loves.
Hey guys, did you know Matty used to run a radio station?
God, Zach, I'm trying to have a heartfelt story about how much I miss working at my college radio station and how much I love my station manager because he loved Manchester Orchestra.
Nah, dog. Sincerity is canceled. We're all on that irony shit now.
Dude, irony is the wave, baby.
God damn it! But I miss working.
Sorry about that.
And so I mean, this is a treat for me, just based on my own personal. Even though I have not listened to this album, it's a treat because I got sentimentality. I got nostalgia for my old college station. So that's all I gotta say.
So let's move on to this next one. This should be a fun one. At Dylan_275. Haim made a way more embarrassing album this year than Arcade Fire did.
Folks. I've never seen a sentence I love more than this one. And I've seen the sentence. There's a brand new album out.
I've stared at this for 5 hours now.
I will say that this is a treat. Actually, it's so. I mean, on one hand, I agree with this take almost entirely because that Haim album, I didn't even finish it, but like we discussed this briefly in the podcast chat. This Haim album flopped like hard. Like it's rough out here for the Haim sisters because the album debuted at like 7 on the Billboard charts and then was off the chart entirely in like 2 weeks, which means like, oh, everyone check this out because it was like very well hyped and very well promoted, and then immediately everyone was like, yeah, that's gonna be a no for me, dog. And so like this album, and then also like they had one single that did like 20 million streams, but really it was way down from their first album in terms of popularity, which is not what you want as a band trying to just take over the pop rock scene. And this, I mean, I haven't listened to it in full, so I can't really speak on actually how the album holds up. It's not good though. Like I can tell that from a distance that the Haim album is not good. It's definitely bad. It's probably embarrassing. But on the other hand, Everything Now does have chemistry on it. So I'm going to say this is a take. This is too... You can't say much more embarrassing when one of the most acclaimed indie rock bands of all time put out the song Chemistry. So this is a take for me.
These damn
I agree.
Oh, sorry. I'll let Zach go because I was getting ready to go on a tangent.
That's all I had to say. Hard agreed. Like, I cannot imagine an album... I couldn't imagine an album more embarrassing than Pure Comedy, and then Arcade Fire did the damn thing. So, yeah, this is a take for me.
Haim, these damn Haim sisters, they thought they could trick us. All right? It's like, hey, we got Paul Thomas Anderson. He's directing our music videos. We're indie, right? He did videos with Joanne Newsom. We're indie, right? And no.
With Radiohead.
We did videos with Radiohead, too. We ain't fall for that shit, Haim. We know y'all are industry plants. We know.
I mean, they're not industry bands. They're just a pop band. Like that's what they are. Like they are trying to make like kind of breezy, soft like pop rock that like hails back very much to like kind of a throwbacky sound that's just very like fun and easygoing, but just like it just like doesn't like work. Like it doesn't work in this new capacity in which I will forever defend The Wire as a fucking bop and a million. It is so good, but besides The Wire, I have never truly, despite my status as a white person, I am not a fan of Haim, and so I'm definitely not a fan of the new album from what I've heard of it. So yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, dog.
But yes, I will say, this is a bit of a treat because here's the thing with Haim. After 2 weeks, no one gave a shit. Embarrassing in that like, oh, no one cared. But the thing with Arcade Fire, we know that's
people cared.
That's stuck in our memory. Okay, Chemistry.
For better or worse, people cared.
You don't forget Chemistry. You don't forget Chemistry. And you know what? You also don't forget. You don't forget Infinite Content. You don't forget both of them either. You don't forget any of those songs.
Or Put Your Money on Me, which is
okay. That's a great song, AJ.
That's one of the decent ones, AJ. You're undermining your own argument.
Well, I'm saying that you shouldn't forget about it. It's good stuff. I could not name a single album, single song off the Haim album. Is what I'm trying to say.
I remember the single was called like "Want You Back," I think is what it's called, which is just
Boom.
like you couldn't have picked a more generic title for a song. Like I'm pretty sure that's like the thesis statement of about 100,000 songs.
And also, I only remember it because of the terrible Cheryl Lloyd song. That's also named the same. All right, next take. We've discussed this enough. We have more Haim takes. I mean, we have another Haim take later on. But our next one comes from Reddit user Shmahugian. So
know if they have any social media.
Humans by Gorillaz is severely underrated. This is a bit of this is the take. This is the take.
This is the take for sure. Yeah, like I love me some Gorillaz. Gorillaz are good. They're a good band. And there are songs on Humans that are like, I can get down with this. To refer to it as Humans, the entire album, to imply that this like album as the idea of what an album is supposed to be is in any way successful is yikes on that one, because this album is a hot mess of the highest degree.
Yeah, here's the thing about this take. Oh, and it's a take, folks. This take is the most dangerous to Humans and the Gorillaz, because by putting this take out into the world, you're implying that it's underrated. You're asking for people to kind of reevaluate it. I think, if anything, Gorillaz were very lucky with how Humans kind of happened, because they had a lot of press hype rolling in. Album came out and people just went, you know what? Like 6s, a low 7 across the board. If you ask people to look at that album again, they're going to start dropping the 3s and 4s that it deserves in there, because, folks, the album is not good. The album is very, very bad. So,
yeah.
Watch what you say, folks. Words have consequences. This is 2017.
You need to be responsible with your takes out here.
I think AJ got me. That's good. Next take.
Yeah, let's move on. This one is phrased in the form of a question and is from @BigTimeTravis. 22 a million. Is it a classic?
No. Next take.
No.
Well, let me answer that question with the question. Man, what the hell is wrong with you?
Okay, so here I'm gonna come in, and so applying the take itself, which I know for a fact that my dear friend Big Time Travis believes that 22 million is a classic.
And he's saying this to piss me off too, because he knows I'm not. He knows I'm not into this album.
This is a treat for me, because 22 million is not a classic, but it's also not bad. And so I'm willing to abide by this question being pondered, because the thing about 22 million is that even though I have my issues with that album, when we first were exposed to the album, which I don't know if any of you guys had this experience, which was he played the Eau Claire Festival, which is his festival, and at the Eau Claire Festival he performed 22 million in its entirety in the live rendition of it. And I downloaded a rip of that, and at the time I was like, yeah, this is the album of the year. Like, this is the best album that's going to come out this year for sure. It was incredible. That live rendition of it blew me the fuck away. And then the studio version, a lot of the tracks, the way that they kind of turned out on the studio version, were a little underwhelming as to what the live version kind of implied they would be. There's a couple specific things that I had as issues there, like for the ending of Moon Water was different and kind of botched that song for me and stuff like that. But as a whole, 22 million, it is pretty good. It's like a solid 7, a high 7, maybe a low 8 for me. Like, I enjoy 22 a million a good deal. 8 Circle was a perfect song, and so I am willing to abide by this take. It is a treat.
Travis, if you're listening, fuck off. Next take. And I mean that with love. I mean that's a fuck off with love. Okay, I love you, buddy, but you gotta stop. All right, you take a look at yourself, man. All right, stop.
Take a lap.
Stop. Get some help.
I was about to make the same joke. The Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
All right, next take. And okay, buddy. All right, this is a juicy one. This is from friend of the podcast @Peppersmith67, and he says that Flower Boy is better with Damn, and this one is hot because it's not just one little better than sign; it is 3 better than signs than Damn.
Whoa, hold up now.
And this is a take, fellers. This is a damn take, because Flower Boy, my own take about Flower Boy, I think Flower Boy is overrated. Flower Boy, just wasn't for me. I know what Tyler's trying to do, but I don't know. It's the album. It's the album that it's weird in that it's the album that I know Tyler's been wanting to make for a long ass time, but I'm just over him at this point. So it's like too little, too late, buddy. Like.
Matty's an OG Odd Future fan, so he's like, "This is good, but I really miss some of the questionable sexual assault stuff."
I mean,
like,
know.
Why doesn't he say homophobic stuff anymore?
No, it's just the magic is lost. Okay, the magic is lost. I mean, objectively.
No, the magic is lost. You're just not 16 anymore.
Exactly.
You're no longer a 16-year-old white person, so you're not like standing for a Tyler the Creator album anymore,
Exactly.
which I get. Like.
I'm gonna withdraw from this because I've only heard one of these albums.
I'm going to pardon that this is actually a treat, because although I have Damn ranked higher than Flower Boy on my album of the year ranking, so I do not personally agree with this take. They are both in my 5 or so favorite hip hop albums this year, and so I'm willing to say that like. They're comparable in quality enough that I'm gonna call this take a treat. Because folks, Flower Boy, it's real good. It's real good, and I like it a lot. And the production is nice, and it's very sunny time, fun boy. And also, like I've said this on the podcast before, but it's like Tyler has always wanted to make like a soul album, basically, or like kind of infuse those influences into his music, and it's always been kind of awkward. Like the diversions he's had in his last 2 albums that have been like Fucking Young and Perfect and stuff like that, and some of this, especially some of the stuff from Cherry Bomb, was just like, oh, he's trying to do this neo soul thing, but it's just so awkward and like never fit him. And then on this album, it's not like the hip hop album of the year, but like for the first time in his career, he really found the way to like make those sounds and styles work with his music, and I was like, partly I loved it, but also partly I was like very happy for him, because like this is like clearly like like I said, the album you wanted to make, and I really love it. And also, Who Dat Boy is really good. Who he is, yeah.
I would also like to recuse myself from this discussion because I don't give enough of a shit about Tyler to speak on it. So let's move on, I suppose. At Nadine S. Pearson, this is all lowercase. Haim album of the year.
No.
Next take. We
discussed
this at length.
Specifically in the form of the drill tweet that just no in quotation marks is how I feel about this take.
Yeah, it's not good. No.
Next one.
All right, this one is I would say this one is the one that made me laugh the most, because even though I have not listened to either of these albums, I feel it in my heart. And this comes from at Acres of 7. Nickelback and Ryan Adams released albums of near identical quality this year.
Yeah, I actually have listened to the Ryan Adams album, which was a major mistake on my part. Yeah, like Twitter user at strange_mercy, Sabrina, shout out Sabrina, I guess. She made this tweet a while ago that was like, I'm not straight and I want to do a shot off of Mandy Moore's breasts, and that was the only thing I could think about while listening to the Ryan Adams album. So yeah, the Ryan Adams album, demonstrably not good. I agree with this take. It is a treat. Good going.
I'm giving it a treat on just quality of composition, honestly. Just
really tape crafting at its fine at the highest skill levels.
Yeah, like having a take is
like,
an art, and this is like the fucking Sistine Chapel right here.
This take is chiseled out of granite.
All right, I think that covers it. This next one, I need to introduce, because this is the one that possibly made me the most, not made the most upset, because I'll get into it anyways. Twitter user at jwald55, member of the Indieheads podcast, Jake, friend of the pod, member of the pod, friend who I called a friend once before, but after this take, I don't know. Jake says In Rainbows is the 7th best Radiohead album. So he's implying that in his ranking of the 9 studio Radiohead albums, In Rainbows comes at number 7. And I don't know if any of you have met me before or like seen any of my online social media profiles exactly one time. I happen to be a fan of In Rainbows by Radiohead. I wrote a 3,000 word piece on it recently for its 10-year anniversary. Folks, it's good. Wolf Howl. The reason why I don't like purely hate this take, because like besides like Pablo Honey, like all Radiohead albums are like great to perfect, and so like I get how some people are just like, I vibe with these albums more than other ones, and this is my and the rankings of Radiohead albums are very much like the rankings of Kanye albums, where it's really all personal preference, and you will see them ranked in any order. That being said, fuck off and die. Don't you dare disrespect In Rainbows ever again in my house, brother. It's easily my favorite Radiohead album. It's definitely part of the holy trinity of like the 3 most critically acclaimed, with OK Computer and Kid A, and it's a towering masterpiece of art and poetry and rock. And yeah, that's how I feel about In Rainbows by Radiohead. I could literally talk about that album for a full 2-hour podcast.
This is so close. I could theoretically go 6th, but unfortunately,
7 is one too many.
7 is one too many, and that one is Amnesiac, unfortunately. So it's got to go. This is a take, folks.
Oof.
I'd say this is a treat. This is a treat because this is a treat for me. I mean, I don't quite have the emotional attachment to In Rainbows that I have to other Radiohead albums, so I'm not gonna get mad at this one. This is a treat to me.
On one hand, I respect you for your opinion. On the other hand, like, have you heard Weird Fishes? Like, buddy.
I have. I can't recall what it sounds like, but I have.
Okay, alright, I need to calm myself down now.
I'm going to say that this is a take, if only because I don't want to piss off Jackson.
It's okay. You
I don't
can go.
care.
You can
But
go
also
ahead.
because Reckoner was the first Radiohead song I ever fell in love with, so I can't really.
Reckoner
I
is
can't front on it.
Good shit. That goodest of shit. Fun fact about Reckoner is that in the bridge of that song, when like the background vocals at the very end of the bridge, the background vocals sing the title of the album, In Rainbows.
Yeah.
That's
which is
breathtaking.
Which is wild. And also the best thing about that was that someone asked Tom York about it in an interview, like, why did you put that there? And it's like, why do you put the secret message there? Is what I think what they said. And he was like, that was secret? Like, we thought everyone would just pick up on that. Like, they assumed everyone would just totally get that and hear that and pick up on it, and which is a very nice summation of what Radiohead is
Listen
details.
up, Tom. Yeah, not everyone's a superhuman like you are.
Yeah, we ain't
Why don't you
dating
spell your name
models,
right,
okay? We ain't dating models.
Spell your name right, you fucking dickhead.
Yeah, there's no H in that shit.
Tim.
Remember from the Tom York AMA where someone's like, "Did you take the H from Johnny's name?" And he says, "Yes, I don't believe you noticed."
Jesus Christ. What the fuck? That is perfect. That is my new favorite thing that has ever happened on the internet.
No, I mean, hey, nothing will ever beat the Tom Yorkism. The economy. Bad. Stupid.
I mean, there is also I'm just as fucked off as you are, and only human.
Or
Which is true,
where are you gonna put the waste guy?
Fuck,
But-
Tom, we love you. Come on the Indieheads podcast.
But we actually have a couple more Radiohead takes actually. That,
Some recent additions.
We're added into the last minute, and this one comes from Twitter user @MonrovianPrince. Seems like a handsome ass guy. I don't know about y'all, but he says that Amnesiac is the best Radiohead album. And you know what? AJ? AJ?
This sickens me. I could say that Amnesiac is the worst Radiohead album, and that would hold more water than this.
Ouch.
Well, AJ, I gotta disagree with you, buddy. I think I think this guy, he's making a lot of sense. I gotta
Well,
agree with him.
would you look at that? We're in a disagreement. Whatever could we do about it?
I will kick you in the shins in Chicago in 2018.
Pitchfork Music
Brother.
Festival.
Or I very might well take a visit down to New York City, and
Hey, don't come to Brooklyn, baby. And that was with the B emoji, so you know I'm not messing around.
Yeah. Extremely YG voice. Don't come to LA, brother. Amnesiac. I would call that take a treat because I have it very firmly in the middle of my Radiohead album rankings, where like I very much appreciate the brilliance of Amnesiac, and I think it's very good and very unique in terms of the purpose it serves in the Radiohead canon and catalog. On the other hand, it has never been my favorite. Like I really want to be that person who's like, yeah, Amnesiac's the best Radiohead album. I just can't get myself there. I'm not, because I just like they're true like resounding classics like OK Computer and In Rainbows. I can't in good conscience say like, yeah, this is better than In Rainbows, because I would be a fool in man's clothes. But I will say that Amnesiac is good and has a lot of good songs on it, so I will abide by this take and call it a treat.
Zachariah?
I have to disagree with this one, unfortunately, because there is another take from a kind gentleman at Waffle113 who says, actually, Sleep is the best Radiohead album.
So see, I was very kind to Mr. Matt Monroe here about his Amnesiac take. I will not have such mercy toward Hail to the Thief defense, because
Now lines in the sand are being drawn here.
I feel betrayed, man.
We just
What the
lost
fuck?
Jackson. He just had that take and just exited the call.
I'm still on the call.
Oh wait,
can you hear me?
Okay, who?
That was Josiah that left the call because he was on earlier.
Oh,
he left the chat.
Oh.
No, I did not just leave the call out of the curiosity of my own take. Here's the thing about Hail to the Thief. Hail to the Thief has some all-time Radiohead songs on it. I will never deny that, and I will never call it a bad album. 2 + 2 = 5 is literally the hardest Radiohead has maybe ever ripped. Like
It's the best Radiohead opener, and that is no small statement.
There is an incredible song, Myxomatosis, Scatter. There's lots of great songs on here.
Wolf at the fucking door, baby.
Sail to the moon.
Here's the thing, brother, is that it is the one Radiohead album is a little long-winded, which is something they never do. It's like a couple songs too long, and it is not like clear 100% in exactly what album it wants to be. It kind of wants to be two different albums a little bit, with the bleep bloops and with the guitars. And then most importantly for me, I mean, some of the political stuff on this album has held up really well. Like 2 + 2 = 5 is still like incredible and makes me feel things in a big way in the Trump administration. Some of the anti-Bush stuff just kind of doesn't date very well. Like the album title and the whole kind of feel. The obviously political anger is always gonna like be a good source of music and inspiration, but like for me at least, Hail to the Thief has not aged well with years, and as much as there are good songs on it, it's definitely one of my bottom 3, probably bottom 2 Radiohead albums, and that's just how I feel, brother.
I feel personally attacked.
Yeah,
right
that's gross. Everything that's happening here is just disgusting. Let's move on.
Thank you, Andrew Jeremiah Moser.
We've got a third take here from one at @andmoser on Twitter.com, who has to say that, in fact, A Moon-Shaped Pool is the best Radiohead album. And, I mean, hips don't lie, folks.
I don't want to just like have very strong opinions about every single Radiohead take on this podcast, but that's who I am as a person, and I'm not gonna lean away from that. This take is good. It is strong. It is my friend. It is not my take, but I respect it wholeheartedly. Like two samurai warriors who do not fight because they are both powerful, but they give each other deference and respect.
While you did not birth this take, you would certainly adopt it.
I would adopt
your own and nurture it to have it strong.
I would grow and nurture with it and grow in intense bond with it. A Moon-Shaped Pool is my third favorite Radiohead album. It could even become my second one day, although unseating OK Computer would be quite the feat. which I don't know if it could ever do. But like, brother, it's literally a perfect album. Like, A Moon-Shaped Pool is a perfect album. That would have been the album of the year literally any year except for last year when Blonde came out. But like, A Moon-Shaped Pool is so good and so strong and so sad and so my friend. So I will support this take to the death, brother. And also, I kind of have to go because it is getting real late night and I have things to be about and doing. So I will leave you all in that A Moon-Shaped Pool. It's good as hell, brother. Tom York having the audacity to record a Full Stop and just put that on an album and just like ream me with the fucking goatness of that and every other song on this album.
He didn't have to do it.
He didn't have to do it, but he did. He did, brother. He also put Daydreaming on a goddamn album. Like, that's an okay thing to do to me. And so, yeah, A Moon-Shaped Pool is incredible. It's one of the best Radiohead albums. It's one of the best albums. Radiohead rules. I'm going to leave now, but I'll wait for the rest of the takes on this, and then I'll head out. Matty, Zach, do you have...
I mean...
I'm good.
Yeah, I feel like it's the ultimate culmination of the Indieheads podcast that we've now just evolved into fighting about our favorite Radiohead albums again.
Honestly, we
have used
long.
this format to fight about Radiohead. So
honestly, the only way I could get more personal enjoyment out of an episode of the Indieheads podcast is if we just started like debating, what's your favorite Sun Kill Moon song about someone dying? That's like the only other debate topic that I could pick that would be more Jackson core. So I'm glad I got to get some of my Radiohead takes out there and personally attack my dear friends of the Indieheads podcast with them. Sorry, I had to do it to them, folks.
We stay in this shit together.
So
all right, I'm gonna head out now. Enjoy the rest of the takes and the treats. I'll talk to y'all later.
Goodbye, Jackson.
Cheers.
I'll
introduce this one. Twitter user @Colin Ingram, who, along with myself, is probably the only other member of the Randy Newman hive. Female artists and female-fronted bands have put out around 10 times as many good albums as their male counterparts this year.
I'm going to call this a treat, because I actually kind of agree. I don't know if I'd say 10 times, but I will say, hey, you know who has my album of the year? It ain't a dude. I'll tell you that. So, I'm a treat on this take, and it's a very good treat, though. It's not like a, oh man, get this take out of here. I mean, it's not that hot, but it's a treat of like, hey, y'all should know. Y'all gotta know. But...
No lies detected. This is a treat.
This is a sweet treat, baby. Soft Sounds from Another Planet did come out this year, so folks, you heard it here first.
Like, you got, like, just to, like, in a personal context, like, my top 5 is, there is one album by a male-fronted band, that is The National, and the other 4 Hooray for the Riff Raff, Loxahatchee, Lord, and Julie Burns. So, yeah, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for male artists at Sacrifice.
Men have been canceled.
Good take. Good fucking take, Colin. Well done.
Friend of the podcast, too. Friend of the podcast. Former guest on the podcast. He was a...
Local affiliate
of the Indieheads podcast. He almost got me into a show for free, but it was 21 plus, and I'm still 20. Because, fuck Chicago, bro. Or just fuck America, man. Drinking laws.
You heard it here first.
Indieheads podcast has officially taken anti-America position. Heard it here first.
Indieheads podcast. ... Welcome to the resistance.
Indieheads podcast. Go on, Chapo.
Let's not.
All right. Next take, and this one was sent personally to me. This comes from Schatzel Ben, SCHATZEL Ben. Casey Veggies lost his chance to be famous, and now he'll only ever be a washed-up has-been. And
literally who?
This is a treat. Well, here's the thing. I know, because I was an Odd Future stan, in case
I know. I'm just saying literally who. This is a goddamn treat.
It is a treat. It's a treat because it's very true, because Casey Veggies fucked up hard by, like, leaving Odd Future back in the day. because that dude could have rode off some fame a bit harder, but instead put out a bunch of mixtapes that everyone forgot, tried starting a collective that no one cared about, and now I have no idea what he's even doing in his life. So this is a treat. That's all I have to say.
But let's keep the ball rolling. At Dylan Rodriguez, the new MGMT single is mid, and they haven't released anything decent since Oracular Spectacular. I'm 50-50 on this one. Like, yeah, the single is some mid. It's best described as MGMT saying, "Hey, remember The Cure? They were good, right?"
Someone hasn't listened to the latest episode of the Indieheads podcast.
Oh, god damn it. Did you say that first? Oh, well.
Basically.
But to say they haven't released anything decent since Oracular Spectacular, come on, Congratulations is right there. There are at least 2 good songs on that. It's a take. I can't get behind it.
I have a weird relationship with this take, because here's the thing, like, I don't even think Oracular Spectacular is that good. I think it's the best thing they've ever done. So, like, I agree with that kind of part about their retrospective on their career, but I do kind of like the new single, and so it's like I can't fully buy it. Like, both parts of this take, while I sort of agree with the MGMT bad sentiment, I can't get into this take because, like, both of the like it's saying that they've sort of fallen off and that their new song is like very bad, but it's sort of like, actually I'm coming from a different perspective of like, hey, maybe they've never been that good, but the new song is kind of pretty good. So this is a take for me.
Yep. I mean, I get it. It's a treat because I don't give a shit about MGMT, and I think the new song's pretty good. But, like, I think I listened to Oracular Spectacular once, and I only remember the singles pretty much. So this is a bit of a take from me. But we have one more. Actually, wait, no, we have 2 more. But
what a shame Jackson isn't here to talk about this one. At Grant Baker.
Oh, sorry, Zach.
At Grant Baker says, Black Ken by Little B is unironically a top 5 hip-hop project of the year.
I mean, we ride or die for Lil B here, folks.
And we discussed this on the latest episode of the Indieheads podcast, so I would say this is a bit of a treat for me. Although it was definitely wild that week where, like, Brand New got Best New Music, which was something that, like, we never thought was going to happen, and they did it. And then, like, the next day, Lil B gets Best New Music in a higher score than fucking Science Fiction. And
then the war on drugs topped all of it.
Exactamundo.
What an amazing week that was.
It was a wild ass week, I will say. But yes, this is a treat. But we have saved possibly our worst take for last. Okay.
We are descending into the depths of take hell. I smell sulfur. Hades is saying hello to me. So that's where we are with this take. So let's get it over with. Matty, if you would like to introduce this one.
So this comes from member of the podcast, Will for Thrill, William. Friend, possibly no more.
Can we call him friend after this one?
That's what I say, possibly no more. He says that Little Pump by Little Pump is the best album of October 2017.
Oh my god.
This stinks. This is a steaming pile of shit take here. This is like I said, we saved the worst for last because this is a god awful take. Because it's Little Pump, okay? It's Little Pump. To me, Little Pump is literally, he's just a meme. He's not an actual rapper. All right, he's the man's not hot rapper. But like, oh, he actually is like real and has a career? Like what? So this is a stinky take, but AJ, I know you have some feelings about this because you got mad at Will today about this.
I used to think that I was the LeVar Ball of this podcast, who would go out on a whim to, staunchly defend an album like Everything Now. Speaking truly from the heart, Arcade Fire never lost. Never lost. This take has made me realize that, and so, from that position of kind of antagonizing and putting myself out there with those those fierce takes. I was looking for my adversary, my Stephen A. Smith, who would challenge me on the court. Take me to task over everything now, or my son. This take has forced me to reconsider and realize that I am this podcast's Stephen A. Smith, and Will is the LeVar Ball, because the sheer audacity of this take, it must be clearly designed to try and get me to pop a blood vessel in my head. The man is out here saying things he doesn't even believe, just so he can try and get a rise out of the crowd, spreading these falsehoods and this absurdity. It will not stand. We will kill Will for thrill one of these days.
No, he's not LeVar Ball. He is Skip Bayless. This take is absolutely atrocious. I cannot believe we still allow him to be on the podcast after saying something so blatantly false and obviously inflammatory. I cannot get behind this at all. At Will for thrill, retire, bitch.
Yeah, you gotta go, buddy.
Rest in peace. But that will conclude our first ever Take or Treat festivities. And if you missed your chance to do a take or treat, do not fret, because we cannot forget the most wholesome holiday of all, Takesgiving. So if you missed your chance to take or treat with us, do not worry. You can come home to family dinner with to a family Thanksgiving dinner.
A family comprised mysteriously mostly of white dudes.
Yes. Well, I mean, for some of our listeners, not mysteriously. Pretty standard. But if you missed your chance, don't worry. We have Takesgiving on the way. So get those hot takes. Get them boiling. Make sure you got some fresh recipes for us. We do not want more of the same here, okay? So in a month or so, we will have
folks, we know that everything now is good. You don't need to remind us.
That reminds me, one more loose end we need to tie up. Disqualifying Will's take, which, as we mentioned, is in Seventh Circle of Hell. Which was the hottest take here? The one that we just vehemently disagree with the most?
Ooh.
I think my vote is for Remo Drive better than Brand New.
The Brand New album is bad, and the Japanese Breakfast album is okay. Thing was real bad. Pure Comedy album of the year, also bad. Haim album of the year, also bad. I think I've got to give it to Humans being severely underrated, though. Time will not be kind to this album and anyone who tries to defend it.
And for me, I think my answer is obvious. Through the Late Night has made an enemy of me, as Jack Antonoff is not actually good, and he's not actually good at producing pop albums, because Mass Education or Mass Seduction and Melodrama are bad. So that is the takiest take of the night for me. So Through the Late Night, fight me, okay? I'm gonna punch you right in the throat for this take, because I will not allow it. But that's the worst for me. And so kids, thank you for showing up at our humble estate here at the Indieheads podcast. Come back in a month for Takesgiving, as we'll hopefully have some nice meals for y'all, and hopefully you guys will bring some nice meals yourself, and some of the hottest, steamiest takes yet. So we will see you guys next time, and bye bye.
Thank you, folks.